Sometimes we're on a collision course and we just don't know it. Whether it's by accident or by design, there's not a thing we can do about it. A woman was on her way to go shopping, but forgotten her coat and went back to get it. And when she had gotten her coat, the phone had rung, and so she stopped to answer it and talk for a couple of minutes. And while the woman was on the phone, Richard was rehearsing for that evening's performance at the Roadhouse. And while he was rehearsing, the woman, off the phone now, had gone outside to get a taxi. Now a taxi driver had stopped off a fare earlier and stopped to get a cup of coffee. And all the while Richard was rehearsing, and this cab driver, who dropped off the earlier fare and had stopped to get a cup of coffee, had picked up the lady who was going shopping. The taxi driver had to stop for a man crossing the street who had left for work 5 minutes later than he normally did because he forgot to set his alarm. While the man, late for work, was crossing the street, Richard, finished rehearsing now, was packing away his things. The taxi was waiting outside a boutique for the woman to pick up a package, which hadn't been wrapped yet, because the girl who was supposed to wrap it had broken up with her boyfriend the night before and forgot. When the package was wrapped, the woman who was back in the cab was blocked by another car. And all the while, Richard was making his way to the Roadhouse. The car pulled off, and the taxi was able to go. While Richard picked up his other guitar, he noticed that he had a broken string. And if only one thing happened differently, if only the string hadn't broken, or the car had moved moments earlier, or the package had been wrapped and ready because the girl hadn't broken up with her boyfriend, or the man had set his alarm and got up 5 minutes earlier, or the taxi driver hadn't stopped for a cup of coffee, or the woman had remembered her coat and gotten into an earlier cab, Richard would have crossed the street, and the taxi would have driven by. But life being what it is, a series of intersecting lives and incidents out of anyone's control, that taxi did not go by, and the driver was momentarily distracted